Hi there, this video is going to show you around Google Classroom. So you can see I'm at the home screen for Google Classroom. That's classroom.google.com. I'm signed in as the Minion student, and I have already joined the Chat Algebra 1 class. Now in the previous video that you should have already watched, to get you to this place, I showed you how to actually join a class. So here's the class that I'm enrolled in, and here is the class tile for this class. If you join another class, it will be positioned right next to this. So a couple things on the tile here. If you wanted to unenroll in the class, you would click on these three dots. I don't want you to do that. Right here, it will tell you the assignments that are due next, and if you click on them, you can go right to those assignments. Down here, you can open your classwork for Algebra 1, and we'll look at that a little bit later. And then along with every class you're enrolled in, there is a folder that is automatically added to your Google Drive. And so if you wanted to see what was in that folder, you could click on that icon. Okay, so I'm going to click on the name of the class to open the actual class. So this is the stream page. You can tell that by this dark line right here. So some of the things you'll see on the screen page are the upcoming assignments that are due. Here's another option to view all of your assignments. So if I click on that, I can see all of the assignments. But I'm going to go back here and talk about a couple more things before we look at assignments. So the only thing that I'm going to put on the stream here is announcements. You won't see any assignments listed or referenced here on this stream. If you're in another class, your teacher might decide to put the postings of the assignments on this stream, but for my classes, the only thing you're going to see on the stream might be some announcements. Or, there might be something that I want you to respond to. Like here's just a welcome to Algebra 1, and then I wrote, what's the highlight of your summer? I would want you to put something in this, traveling, and then just click the send button, and then it shows there. You will be able to see your classmates' comments as they put them on there as well. A couple other things that you can do. If you want to, you can delete the post. If you wanted to change it to something else, you have that option. Also, I think you all know this, but up here, if you wanted to go to one of the other Google apps, you would click on the waffle. But we're just in Google Classroom right now, so let's just stay there. All right, so let's go over to the classwork tab, because that's where most of your work is going to happen. So again, here you have that view your work page. And so right now it just shows all the assignments that have been assigned. Now you notice this one says missing, and that's because the date that I recorded this was past June 6th. So if the due date has passed, you're going to see missing. Now over here you can filter the assignments. If I click on missing, that's a real quick way to see anything that you haven't turned in yet. If it's been returned with a grade, it will show up here. If it's been assigned, it's going to show up here. So this is showing all of our assignments. And once we go through and complete a couple of these assignments, we can come back here and you can see how it looks at that point. Okay, so I'm going to go back, and I want to go to my classwork page again. Some other things to notice. Here's another link to that Google Drive folder that you have. Here's the Google Calendar. It will open up a calendar. I'm going to add my class. And then it will show me, for example, on Friday the 12th, these are the two assignments that are due. I can go to the next week, and it'll show me when those assignments are due. If you have other classes, you can add those as well. Over here are my list of calendars. So here's Student Minion, that's me right now. As long as this calendar is clicked, then the calendar itself will contain any of your personal stuff that you want to add to it. As long as you have your personal calendar included, it will mesh your personal stuff along with the classroom stuff. The things that you add won't show on the classroom calendar. Only the things that I've added as a teacher will show up on here with these. Nobody else is going to see anything except what is in the main classroom calendar. Okay, back to the classwork page. You'll notice that for this class, I've arranged it by week. In other classes, it might be by unit, it could be by chapter or by topic or whatever. But one thing I have done at the top, and this will always remain at the top, these are some basic class material that they're not assignments, it's just reference material for you for the class. If it has this symbol, it's just a document. This symbol means it's a link, so this links to the Chat Math website. And then the first thing I'm going to have to do is I've got a few assignments here that are called Getting Familiar with Google Classroom. Now over here I've got all the topics listed, so if you wanted to go to one particular week or one particular topic, you can get to it quickly and it will expand all the assignments. This is what we're going to be working on now, and so here's an expansion of the assignments. I'm just going to leave it at all topics right now. We're going to scroll down. This is the one that's late already. So when I open this one, it has a video that I'm supposed to watch on how to use Google Classroom. So the video I'm making right now is going to be linked there eventually. So all you have to do for any assignment is click on View Assignment, and then since this assignment doesn't have anything to hand in, but you do need to tell me, the teacher, that it's done, you go over here and you just click on Mark as Done. That signals to your teacher that you have done what has been asked. So now let's go back here. It says turned in late because it was already past due. So let's go to the next one. Here's another type of assignment. Sometimes an assignment will have a file that your teacher has already prepared for you and you just need to work on it. So in order to do this assignment, I'm going to click on the file. It's going to open in whatever program I need. In this case, it's Google Docs. So notice that it will put your name right here, so you don't need to worry about that at all. And then in this particular exercise, I'm just asking you to put X's when you have finished the different parts of the checklist. So I'm going to put all my X's because I've done all those things. Any questions? Nope. I'm good. All right, so when you're finished, all you have to do is you can either X out of it and it will get automatically saved. You can turn it in right from the Google Doc, or you can turn it in from the assignment itself. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to just say, okay, I finished it. I can go over here and it has automatically saved it here. So again, if I open it up, that's what I just got done completing. So I'm going to close it and I'm going to turn it in right here. Now there's a difference between marking something as done and turning it in. If there's a file that needs to be uploaded, just like if you were in class, you would turn something into me. If it's a digital file that you're turning in, it's going to say turn in, and that's what you click on. If it's just something you've been asked to do and there's no file associated with it to upload, that's when it's going to say just mark as done. Okay, so now it says this is turned in. And while I'm thinking of it, if you have something that would be helpful, maybe you have a question about the assignment that you think would benefit the whole class, you can type it in here where it says class comments. Everybody will see that. If you want to send me a private comment, you would click over here and type in your question. Okay, let's go back to the coursework. We have finished the class intro and the class basics checklist, and you'll notice that both of the assignments are grayed out because they're finished. The ones that are still dark are the ones that I haven't finished yet. I have one more assignment to do in this topic area, so I'm going to click on it. It's going to open my assignment with the basic instructions, but what I really need to do is click on View Assignment. It will give me the instructions over here, and it looks like I'm supposed to watch this video and then I'm supposed to create a Google Doc and duplicate what I saw in the video. Now over here you'll see there's no template file for me, so I have to create my own. If you want to add or create a file to go with your assignment, this is where you do it. You can create a new document, which is what we're going to do now for any of these four, or if you have something in your Google Drive that you need to turn in, or you have a file on your computer that you need to turn in, or there's a link that you need to send as a part of your assignment, this is where you would do those as well. For this particular assignment, we're supposed to create a Google Doc. So after it creates it, then we're going to open it and do our assignment. So let's say I've already watched the video, it's created a file for me, and notice up here my student name is automatically put here, and this is the name of the assignment. So it's super easy. You don't have to worry about naming anything or getting your name on anything because it will be there. So let's say that you have done the assignment with all of the equations or whatever that you were supposed to put on here, and you're ready to turn it in. Well, you can turn it in right here if you want to, or you can close it off and go back to the assignment and click on Turn It In. And the same thing is true as was with the last assignment. It will pull up what you've already done if you want to, make some changes. But once you turn it in, you can't make any more changes. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click Turn In. So it gets turned in, and now I can't do anything. I could pull it up again if I wanted to, but if I try and type, nothing happens. So if you decide that there's something you want to change, then you're going to need to unsubmit the assignment. Then that brings the editing capabilities back to you. Then you can open it up again and you can make whatever changes you need to, and then you can turn it in again. So let's go back, click on Turn In, and that assignment's finished. Okay, let's go back and see what's next. So now I'm ready to do my week 1 work. So I'm assuming that means I've done my assignments at home, handwritten on notebook paper, and then I'm supposed to take a quiz. Let's take a look at the quiz. If you have a worksheet or a quiz that is on a Google form, all you have to do to view the assignment or to go to that is click on this and fill it out. And then I submit. What it says here is view score. So if I want to see how I did, I will see the answers I got wrong, and depending on the worksheet or the quiz, your teacher may or may not let you see the right answers, and they may or may not have some feedback for you. But anyway, there's that, and so I'm going to X out of that because I've looked at it and I'm done. And now I can also, from here, I can click on Open Assignment, and it will take me back to that assignment in my Google Classroom. The other option is to simply just X out of it. Okay, now because it was a Google form that was by itself as an assignment, when you finish it, it should already say it's turned in. Now I know that if there's a Google form that's associated with some other parts in a single assignment, like maybe you had to watch a video and then fill out the form, or you had to work with a document and also do the Google form. If there's more than just the Google form in an assignment, then you will not be able to just turn it in by finishing it. You'll have to come back here and either click Mark as Done or turn it in depending on what the assignment is. Okay, so that's how that works. Let's take a look at one more assignment. So sometimes there might be assignments, especially if you're in something where you've had to draw something, or math is another good example where sometimes you just have to use paper and pencil. Well, in order to turn it in, we're going to have to scan it or take a picture or something to do that. So for my classes, what I'm going to ask you to do is to scan your work into a single PDF file and then attach it when you turn this in. So I'm going to make a separate video on how to do that, but for right now I'm going to click on this assignment and I'm going to add the file that I've previously scanned and put on my Google Drive, and I'm going to attach that to my assignment. So what I've done on my drive is I've created a folder that's called Algebra Files to turn in. So my scanner lets me upload the homework file to that folder, and then all I need to do is double click on it to attach it. So now here's my homework, and I'm going to click Turn In, and now that assignment is finished. Okay, back to my classwork tab. I would do the same thing for my week 2 homework. And now for the chapter test, in my case, for my classes, my students take their math test on paper and pencil. So I'm going to need them to do the same process to get that test handed in to me. Okay, so let's go back and look now that I've got some things that are handed in. If I click on View My Work, it tells me right here which things are turned in. It'll say if it's turned in late, it'll say if it's missing, it'll say assigned if it hasn't been turned in yet. And now I'm just going to pause for a second. I'm going to grade a couple things so that you can see what that looks like as well. Okay, so I've graded the assignments that we handed in, and now I'm going to show you how to see the results. So you can either access that by this View All right here, or from your classwork page, View Your Work right here. Either one will get you to this place, which shows all of your assignments. You can see the ones that have been graded because it will have the scores over here on the right hand side. There's a couple things that have been assigned but don't have grades. Now, something curious about that, this one I know I handed in, so let's click on that one and see what's going on. So when I click on that, it pulls up this file here, but because it's highlighted, that means there's a note associated with it. It says you need to redo this. Okay, so that means I'm gonna delete that and I'm gonna go back in and do the insert equation. And okay, so now I've redone it. Well, I can either turn it in here, but I think to be safe, I'm just gonna go back here, clicking on the details, and I'm going to turn it in. Okay, so now that will come back to the teacher to get graded. So let's look at the other ones. So looking at all of the assignments here, it looks like I did pretty well on my test. Let's take a look at that one. Now notice there are two copies here. This is the one that you turned in. This is the one that I've graded. So if you attached a file and I graded it, and that's going to be the case for either the homework or the tests, you need to look at the one that says edited because that's the one that I've graded. So this is a scan of a test. I've graded it, made some corrections, and then I've put the score here at the top. Okay, so the same would be true for the weekly homework here. It has what you turned in and it has the edited one that I put on here, and there's your score. And I might make a couple comments. You should be able to just scroll through because it's all a single file. Remember that FAN means follow assignment notes. Okay, so we're done with that. Anything else we haven't looked at? Your quiz, we already kind of looked at that. You knew your score before we did anything else. Let's look at this one, the student checklist. That was the one where you had to put the X's in. Now you'll notice if there's anything that's highlighted, there will be teacher comments over here. So you can click on where it's highlighted, it will open this up. If you need to send something back to me, which you most likely will not need to do, but there are comments that are written there. All right, I think we've looked at everything. So there you have it. A couple final comments. If you click up here and you have more than one class, they will show up in this list. But there's a couple things that I think are important for you to see here. I like the to-do list because it will show you anything that you haven't finished that has been assigned, and it will put all your classes in. You can just sort by classes. That we only have one class right now, so that's kind of handy. And the other thing is settings. You'll notice that if you don't change these email settings, you're going to have all kinds of emails coming to you. So you can decide what email notifications you want based on this list. So that's totally up to you. You can turn it off totally, but it's your responsibility to keep track of what is due, what's been handed in, what you still need to do, and to make sure that you look at the stream for any announcements and all of that kind of thing. For those of you who would like to have all of your emails come to one spot, so your chat classes email and your personal emails come to one email address, it's possible in Gmail to forward all of the emails that come to your address at chatclasses.com to your personal email account, and I will post a link to a video that will show you how to change that in your settings. Before we finish, I forgot that I didn't show you what was on the people page. It's pretty self-explanatory. It just lists your teacher and your classmates. Now for chat classes, it's set up so that you can email your tutor directly from this page just by clicking on the envelope. It's not set up to allow you to do the same thing with the students. That may or may not change, and it may change depending on the class that you're in. Okay, there's your tour. I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions.